Hello, Kayrann here, and welcome to Vainglory's actual hero spotlight, featuring Idris, the desert warrior himself. So this guy was the newest hero in Vainglory and probably one of the best right off the bat. He has a super interesting passive where if you build him weapon or crystal power, the character and his abilities will change slightly. So his lore is kinda cool because he basically gets infected by this thing called the churn. And during his story he thought, oh god, if that isn't nightmare fuel, I don't know what is. So right now I would cover his skin stories and say how it's weird or obnoxious. But right now he doesn't have any skin, so let's just talk about his design. Right now he looks like a reject Star Wars character. Straight up, he has a lightsaber. All we need is someone to recreate the I am your father scene from Star Wars with Idris and Arden, and we're good.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No, I am your father.
No!
I mentioned his passive before, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth. So he can be either an assassin or a mage depending on if you build him weapon or crystal. Honestly, it's really cool seeing how Vainglory's characters are getting more complicated rather than more simple concepts. If you build him weapon power, his A ability changes, but I'll talk about that when I talk about his A ability. And if you build him crystal power, he gains ranged basic attacks that deal crystal damage. It's a cool ability allowing you to build whatever your team needs. The change happens when you reach 125 in either crystal or weapon power. So it's possible to get both paths unlocked with either a Sorrow Blade and a Shatter Glass. Because he's hot and he's cold, he's yes and he's no.
You change your mind like a girl changes clothes. 'Cause you're hot then you're cold, you're yes then you're no, you're in then you're out, you're up then you're down.
His A ability is Shroud Step. He does some in a direction and gets him an empowered auto that lasts for 4 seconds. With the weapon power, you can change this combat roll into a blink. So you can have a somersault or Shadow Sneak from Pokemon. Hard choice. Also, if he hasn't taken any damage in the last 4.5 seconds, he gets a barrier that lasts for 3.5 seconds. You can tell if you have it by the bar underneath your stamina. Going weapon power makes this ability go into a blink, so you go faster. But what Vainglory's Spotlight doesn't tell you is that the barrier you get scales 75% of weapon power. Look at that! That isn't okay! I'm spinning everywhere. The cooldown for this ability is shortened each time you land an auto attack if you've built weapon power, allowing you to be rewarded for being more aggressive. Also, this ability allows you to go through walls similar to Lance's ultimate. And as long as you can see the ability circle on the outer edge of the wall, you should be fine. But there is no redemption for messing up in a real game. You would have to move, change names, make a new profile, choose a new main. But none of that would help from the constant mocking you get in your dreams. But if you don't mess up, you're fine.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
His B ability is Chakram. Chakram? Chakram. He throws a Chakram out in a direction that returns to him after going a certain distance. Each time it hits an enemy, it damages them, allowing you to hit them multiple times. Once when you're sending it out, and then the other when it changes direction. It reminds me of Sokka's boomerang because it always comes back no matter how many times you dodge it. Oh, I didn't mention that yet. Well, I did now. Okay, so you can use your two other abilities to dodge the Chakram, allowing it to last longer and allowing you to hit your enemy for more damage. The trick is to be in an ability animation when it comes back to you. I almost forgot to mention this ability scales with 100% of weapon power and 130% of crystal power. This allows crystal power to be a little bit better than weapon power because right now weapon power is pretty broken.
Just a guy with a boomerang. I didn't ask for all this flying and magic.
And finally, we're on to his ult. His ult is pretty interesting since it makes him invincible. It's the equivalent of what Shiatsu does to Nappa in Dragon Ball Z. But instead of exploding and doing nothing, he's actually pretty useful. He swings his lightsaber in a circle around the person he clung to, damaging enemies that get hit by it while jumping off in a target direction. And if you build crystal power, he jumps further away from the target, allowing you to stay a safe distance away. You can use this ability to dodge your Chakram twice, once when you jump onto the target and the other when you jump off. This ability lasts for 1.2 seconds on an enemy and 2.8 seconds on an ally, which can make for some cool plays if you're coordinating with your team. Something that makes weapon power better than crystal is that this ability scales with 100% when crystal power doesn't scale. His back animation looked like he got swallowed by the lightning quicksand. So normally I would suggest one build for what I normally do with the character, but this time I'm gonna have to do two. Woo! So first we're gonna cover the crystal build that I use. So another YouTuber names his builds after fictional characters. So this build is the Twilight Sparkle Lane build. So dumb. So typically I wish I could speak. So typically I start building towards Shatterglass and Alternating Current, so I can activate his passive quickly and get my ranged basic attacks. After that, a Broken Myth is good for pen, plus the stacks it gives you. After that, for boots, I would suggest Halcyon Chargers, since they lower your cooldowns and so you can throw more ninja stars like Naruto. Is that how you say it? Normally, I leave the last items in my slots for situational builds. But with this build, I would suggest staying away from the enemy and kill over time. That's called kiting for those who don't know. When you're building Crystal Power, you want to be giving out throwing stars like Oprah gives out stuff. And you get a throwing star, and you get a throwing star, everyone gets one! The next build is the Rainbow Dash Extreme Jungle build. So with this build, you kind of just go in and wreck people. That's it. Normally assassins want to do damage and get out, but with Idris you will get rewarded for being really aggressive and stupid. It's perfect for me! So starting off with a Sorrow Blade and attack speed, you're going to get that damage plus your abilities are going to get changed because of the Sorrow Blade. Then building Crit or Breaking Point is going to be really good because Crit is broken right now. And if you need to build Penetration, build Bonesaw, but only if they're building armor. There are times in Vainglory where people are silly and forget to build against the enemies. So, if you don't need to build against them, don't. It can be easily replaced with another Sorrow Blade or more crit items. Again, I would suggest Halcyon Chargers for boots because that cooldown is just too good. And again, for the last items, build what your teams need. If you're getting stunned a lot, build some reflex block. Do what you need to do. And I know this build works. I have a montage proving it. Here it is. Okay, I swear I'm not a brony. Honestly, I just wanted to make the montage at the end of the video. My roommate is the one that suggested it. Is my roommate a brony?